Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. How you doing today? I've been taking some union organizing classes, and it brings me home a little late. And I was already told that if I'm going to be involved with this type of process as a lifestyle or as a career, well, at least till I get this channel up to about 100,000 plus. That it's going to require a lot of my time because it's not easy and it's not flexible when you're fighting for the rights of working people. Be on call all the time. And according to this job position, I'm going to be in a position like that where workers are going to be calling me on the site. We're going to be opening up new campaigns and things like that. And believe me, I want to invite this into my life because I want to become more of a better organizer. I don't want to just talk the talk up here and don't walk the walk. I want to be out there fighting for the needs of the working class. Yet I do fight for the needs of entrepreneurship. I think working class people should look into starting their own business. Traditional business is dying out. There's a way of doing business online where you don't have to have a brick and mortar. You don't have to carry a bunch of inventory and things like that. But then those who do have that, I want to make sure that they have their workers taken care of. Sure, you can start a big app and provide all these products and hire all these people, but you're going to take care of them because they're going to take care of you. So that's one of the reasons why I got into this position. So I'm saying this because oftentimes I'm coming home late and I'm a little drained into doing this. And at the moment, you know me, I don't bother you guys about donating, super chat and all that. I just give you opportunity, but I'm not one of those greedy pastors asking you, please, the lights of the church is about to get cut off and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that. But I do leave it open for you to do that. More so, my main thing is I want to help you save money. So I offered 2 programs down below at the links. One is EJ for All. That's providing you legal protection over you and your entire family. And there is a investment of it. It's about a cup of coffee a day. Here in New York, the services is $13.95 a month. But yet you're going to get thousands of dollars worth of legal protection. Anytime you need it, just tap the app and that's available. Also, since most of the people are streaming on their television services, I offer streaming services where a legitimate, credible company where you can stream your live TV over 5,000 channels, starting at $39 a month. But we can get that down to $0 called DominionIXQTV.info. Go there and take a look at that information and get educated in them. The money that you save for these things, yeah, you can put it towards your family and things like that, but take $5, $10 out of that savings because believe me, it's going to be $30, $40, $50 a month in savings. Take $10 and donate to the Patreon channel or donate it to my PayPal account. All right, so let me get into this. I want to talk about Elizabeth Warren, late Liz, and I want to talk about AOC too because these two young ladies are really, really working my nerves politically. They're really, really bringing me down. AOC, as you know, I live in AOC's district. I voted AOC because I want to get Joe Crowley out. All right. Joe Crowley is a career politician who has done nothing for the Bronx. He's done more for Woodside, Queens, but have not done nothing too much for the Bronx. And so I wanted his butt out. And so I did whatever I could to help AOC get elected. All right. But before I go there, yesterday I was outside, and you probably already saw the video. It was half upside down. So it's like eating a taco. Your neck probably was hurting trying to watch that video. But I was talking about Elizabeth Warren, and try to turn this down. I was talking about Elizabeth Warren and her not going on Fox News. Now, you got to know me. I never will really call on the Elizabeth Warren phenomenon. I really didn't. Sure, she said some things about Clinton and how she talked one way, but when it get down to voting, she's different. That was her claim to fame, that she called Hillary Clinton out. This white woman, called out another white woman and made her look stupid. And rightfully so. She should have did that, and what she said was right. It was right. Elizabeth Warren was right on the money. Politicians, they seem to have a private public position. I have a private position. I just choose not to tell you about it. And oftentimes my private position is my public position. All right. It's just certain things I don't discuss with you because you can't handle my point of view on certain things. So if I tell you we ain't going to agree on this, so let's not go there. Let's just take my advice. We're not going to agree on this. Let's don't go there. Least you become an enemy of me and hating me because of my disagreement in that area. So what I do is I look for common ground to agree with each other. For an example, as a black man, a lot of people, they tell me stay on code. They want to use my channel as an effort to boost the movement. And my channel is not an effort to boost the movement. I may support your movement, but it's not going to be a platform to boost your movement. I started this platform as a political analyst, as a political pundit, commentary. That's what I started, and it moved on into world news, local news, state news, neighborhood news, and I'm going to start doing more of that. And excuse me. So I'm not on nobody's agenda. The Bob TV network is a network that I started a long time ago, and I'm going to be adding what I feel should be on this channel, not what nobody else feels should be. I may take your advice, I may consider it, and I may do it, and I will give you credit for it. But nobody is going to control what gets done here, not even YouTube. That's why a lot of my content is going on to other channels, because YouTube will shut you down in a minute, and they feel that they silenced you. And pretty much they probably have, especially when you got hundreds of thousands of subscribers and all of a sudden, or a million, and all of a sudden your channel is shut down and you can't even communicate with them. That's why I'm saying now that I am putting my stuff on other platforms. So should they silence me, and they probably will, because as I get my organizer knowledge up, I'm going to be organizing a lot of stuff. They're going to shut me down, sure enough. They're already messing with whatever ad revenue or whatever. They shut me down. And I did something on Joe Biden. As soon as I put Joe Biden name, because they Joe Biden favorite, they're gonna lock me down on who gets to watch it or what's advertiser friendly. But I can talk about Trump like a dog, and they won't even talk. They won't even. They'll let me say that. Why? Because Trump is not on Trump. They're anti-Trump. But they'll let me talk about Trump like a dog. But if I talk about Democrats like a dog, YouTube want to shut me down or try to harness me or try to limit my ad revenue. First of all, I think it's very inconsiderate to have our content up here for free and profit off us through ad revenue. To me personally, I would rather pay to be on a platform like this, not a whole lot, maybe $20, $30, $40 a month, and let the advertisers work a deal with me. That way I can get the advertiser money and I can continue to pay YouTube. But now YouTube, they're not going to do that. They're smart to offer the channels for free and let you put whatever you want and let them decide what gets put on there or not. So I can't depend on ad revenue. I can't depend on supporters, even though I try to depend on you. I would love to have you to support me to the point where I can do this more full time. But there's a lot of YouTubers out there, and they're probably asking the same thing. So I'm looking for innovative ways where I can help you save money. At the same time, you can make a decision to take that saving and put it over here. And my goal for the ISQ TV is 1,000. My goal for the LS Legal Service Protection Plan is 1,000, and that will put me in a position where I'm making well enough money where I can do this full time. All right, so let me get back to this. Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren is one of the biggest opportunists I ever met in my doggone life. Now, I recently did a video on her talking about her trying to weasel her way out of being in a Fox News town hall. Now, we all know why Elizabeth Warren won't go on Fox News, but let me go ahead and read this. This is her tweet from May 14th, okay? And she just goes on and on and on. You could tell a lame excuse because the lame excuse always have something that goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. On May 14th, she said, I love town halls. I've done more than 70 since January. Woohoo! Whoop-de-doo. She's done 70 town halls since January. And I'm glad to have a television audience be part of it. All right, she did a couple with a television audience. A couple of mainstream, left-leaning suck-ups that's not going to crap on her too hard because she is a Democrat. Now, if she was a independent running in the Democratic Party, they'll be crapping her on all day, even at the town halls that she favored. She said, Fox News invited me to do a town hall, but I'm turning them down. Here's why. So she's going to go into the reason why she turned them down. Fox News is a hate-for-profit racket that gives a megaphone to racists and conspiracists. All right, so let me stop there. Like MSNBC is not a hate-for-profit. I mean, MSNBC, CNBC, ABC, CBS, and NBC all have some of the biggest advertisers in the military complex than Fox News. And right now, they're lining the pockets of people like Elizabeth Warren to go further than hate, to go to the end result of hate, and the end result of hate is death. The end result of hate is death. I'm going to tell you like my pastor told me. The end result of extreme hate is death. It don't have to be the death of a person. It could be a death of a personal issue that you have in your life. For example, I love cake. And the end result of loving it too much is me getting fat, probably carotid arteries, especially German chocolate cake. But usually hate leads to death. That's why you see these people out here killing people. Tell me what inspired them to go around killing people. There was some hate somewhere. So she's saying Fox profit off that hate. Well, okay, let's say a couple of people who go around shooting up mosques, which is horrible, shooting up schools, which is horrible, shooting up churches is horrible. Yeah, they are inspired by hate. But okay, we got a military complex that want to bomb over here and bomb over there and bomb over there, killing a whole bunch of people too. Why? Because they may hate their ideology. They hate the fact that they got oil, diamonds, gold, resources. So what's the difference, Elizabeth Warren? You can't use that. Bigotry and racism. Let me tell you something. It's why I can kind of, I like my hatred and my racism up front. I don't like to see it up front, but I'd rather have it in my face where I can see you, the racist, versus one who pretend to be my friend and racist all the time. I told you a story about the guy. We grew up together. We did everything together, man. He had a family that had a boat. We would go on a boat, deep sea fishing to the wee morning and the hours of the morning. I lived in Florida. That was my homeboy. We would stay on the beach for the whole weekend and the whole 9 yards, man. I mean, we would skip school together and go to the beach or go fishing. That was my boy. And then here come this girl, and it's a Caucasian girl. I mean, she was a mad girl too. We fell out over her. And in a fight, he started calling me all kind of names. You black this, you black son of a, and the N-word. Yo, you my boy, but don't think just because you my boy, you got a right to call me that. See, that hurt me more than anything. I knew racist people in my school, especially hardcore redneck racists that came from Nazi families. I knew they hated me, but I can deal with them. I can stay away from them. I can always poke fun of them or find a way to poke back if they poke fun at me. I'd rather know the people that are racist than the person who I think got my back, and all this deep down hatred and bigotry and racism is still there. So what's the difference, Elizabeth Warren? Balance of mixed bigotry, racism, outright lies with enough legitimate journalism to make their claim to advertisers that it's a reputable news outlet. It's all about dragging in ad money and big ad money. You don't think that's what you politicians are doing down there in D.C.? Majority of you politicians are hate for profit. You hate Democrats, hate Republicans. So they need to get money to bash out against Republicans. Republicans hate Democrats, so they got to profit, get money from the donors so they can fight against. Come on. A balance of mixed bigotry. Bigotry is going on all over in Washington, D.C. Some of it up front and some of it is low key and it's in our policies today. Ask Joe Biden and ask Bernie Sanders, who supported the crime bill with the vote. And to me, the excuse that he has is not enough. And let me stop, because some people say, yeah, get him, Robert, on stab Bernie, get him, because you used to be Bernie and Bus. Let me tell you, I was Bernie and Bus in 2016. And I looked at his record. Majority of records, he done great things. But it's just like telling me, Robert, you're awesome, you're great, you're a handsome man, and you got a great personality, but as soon as you say but, it cancels out everything else you just told me about myself. That but mean you're going to tell me the problem with me, and I'm going to be focused on that problem because you told me the problem with me. So you can tell me all about the great things that Bernie Sanders done, but there's a big but there, and that big but is that crime bill. He did not have to support it. And yeah, but it had the Violence Against Women Act in it, and it had the thing about the gun rights, and he had to do whatever his constituents. A lot of time people use that as excuse because you got to do the data, and you got to try to go where the data is and try to do something separate. And the data proves that there was more crime, there was more aggressiveness toward crime, toward drugs, on purpose, strategically planned by our government to get those drugs in those neighborhoods so the police can find a reason to get black men off the street and black boys off the streets. And the number compared to that is way, way more higher than the number compared to women who were being abused. Don't get me wrong. Physically abusing women is bad. Let me tell you something. I'm a man who was physically abused by his first wife. She's a tough cookie. I like, some women like that about their man cause she used to ask me, she would get mad because I wouldn't be aggressive toward her. I guess she want a man to smack around a couple times, tell her to shut the hell up. And I could have did that. But when my son came into my life, I used to be that way. But then I had a child and it changed me. So I'm not going to go back to that mess. There was a lot of things that caused me to change for the better. So I was not that person. I could smack you around and, dominate. Some women like men to dominate them in every area. Woman, shut up and get in the car. Cook my food. Some women like that. To me, there's still no excuse to be abusive. And just like women don't have no right to be hitting a man if that man didn't touch them. To me, if you don't touch me, don't expect me to knock you out. That goes both ways. A woman can kill a man, a child and an old lady can kill a man. And if you feel like your life has been threatened, really threatened, not this cop fake mess, you got a right to defend yourself, not kill, but defend yourself. So you look at the data on both ends, and I'll get back on Elizabeth Warren in a moment. You look at the data on both ends. The data that support the crime bill, it was a extreme imbalance. The aggressive push toward black men on the street were too extreme, and it was set up that way by design if you go and study it. So Bernie Sanders did not have to use that as an excuse to sign off for that bill. No, you ain't have to sign nothing. Stop using this for excuse. You could have opted out to say no, and then you could have went to the press and made your statement why you voted no. And you could even call them out and said they got the nerve to even try to force me to vote for this bill because with this Violence Against Women Act to make it seem like I'm anti-women. I am not for violence against women. I am not for taking away gun control. I'm not for taking away guns from my constituents. And sure, there's a lot of people in my place of Burlington, not New York City, that need that money to help them deal with violence against women. And let me tell you something. I am in support of bills to be pushed against a violence against a spouse, not just women, because women out there doing stupid stuff too, just like men. You understand how many men get killed because their women get jealous? Oftentimes they're not beating on the woman. Let me get back on subject. So I'm not excusing him for that. I mean, but yet I understand he's done a lot of other good things too. But that was one bad, horrible mistake that decimated the black community. He supported that. And Joe Biden crafted that. Hillary Clinton pushed it. Bill Clinton signed it into law. And Kamala Harris was a shining example of enacting that policy. All right, so how did I get on this? Well, she talking about bigotry and racism. In policies, there's bigotry and racism. I have to be upfront. There's outright lies. All you politicians lie with enough legit journalism to make the claim to advertisers. All of you. And what you think MSNBC and all these other news outlets doing? But Fox News is struggling as more and more advertisers pull out their hate-filled spaces. No, Elizabeth Warren, Fox News is not struggling. Fox News is the most watched news network. More people in this country and probably around the world watch Fox more than they watch the ones that you feel comfortable going on because they're going to give you softball questions and treat you like a queen. A Democratic town hall gives Fox News sales team a way to tell potential sponsors it's safe to buy ads on Fox. Who told you that was the reason they having you on the show? They're going to get advertising. Do you realize that all corporations do not care about that crap? They only care about it if they feel a huge bunch of people starting to boycott their products. If those people not boycotting their products, they don't feel threatened, Elizabeth Warren. And right now, I don't see a huge boycott going on with these major companies. Should be, but I don't see it going on with most major companies. So stop with this. This Democratic town hall is an excuse for them to get ads on Fox. That is a lame excuse for you not to go out there and stake your lame case for you to be president when you need to. It's the most watched news network. So as a politician, it's up to you to swallow your pride and tuck your tail in and go on the As Most Watched News Network and tell these people what you're going to do if they vote for you. I'm going to provide this for you because most of the people know, we already know through data and polling. I'm not a fan of polling, but through data and polling that most Republican voters, they love a progressive platform. They ain't going to tell you. But if you take the label of progressive and just say, do you mind having your health care paid for at the point of service? Would you mind investing a little bit to make that happen for everybody? Because you know you may need it just as much as anybody else. They're going to say yeah because they struggle with that right now. They can't even go get a colonoscopy check without worrying about a big bill coming. You think, I want to make sure your kids go to college. If you want to go back to college, I want to make sure you go back to college tuition free. You shouldn't have to be paying. You already pay taxes going to these schools. Why should you double down and pay for it when you decide to go to school on top of it? So Elizabeth Warren, stop doing this escape plan from not going on a news network. Sure, they're not Sure, they're a conservative leaning news network, but the voters there are not all the same as the people that's hosting the show or the people that they kind of lean up to in Congress. The people watching the show are people. And yeah, some of the people are racist, some of them not racist. You got some black people, you got some Hispanic people, you got a whole bunch of white people that watch Fox News. You got a lot of people who refuse to vote for Hillary Clinton, and based on the DNC cheating them, that's independent now, they refuse to watch CNBC and MSNBC because they were complacent in that. Does that make them hatred? Does that make them a hater? Does that make them a bigot because they watch Fox News? Fox News is the most watched news because it's not saying that they're not trustworthy. They're not trustworthy, but look, I don't blame them. I trust Fox myself more than I trust MSNBC and NBC and CNBC and CNN because they were complicit in participating in rigging the election. They were complicit in what they call voter suppression. What do you mean by voter suppression? Putting up their numbers of superdelegates who haven't voted just because they pledged to make it seem like this person is winning. So why waste your time putting energy on this person? That's voter suppression. But let me keep going. Here's one place we can fight back. Now she's trying to say we need to fight back against Fox News. Lady, stop with this foolishness. I want to ask millions of Democratic primary voters. Well, it's not that many. Independent voters are the biggest voting base. You're about to lose all the black vote in the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party is not taking reparations seriously. They're not playing around with this no tangible, no vote. So until you get some tangibles, you can count out the majority of black people in the Democratic Party. But I do understand it takes the black vote to win the Democratic primary. Without them, you're not going to win. You're on your own. It's going to be an even playing field, and everybody got a chance of winning without that black vote. But in the general, it's the independent vote. Black votes do matter, but it's the independent vote that determines whether you're going to be a president or not. And baby, your independent voters are not in the Democratic Party, and they're not all watching CNN and MSNBC. They're probably watching YouTubers like me. Voters to tune out. I want to ask millions of Democratic primary voters to tune into the outlet that profits from racism. No, what you're trying to do is you're trying to seem like we're resisting. And I'm going to resist, and I'm going to be the leader in this resistance. No, you're cowarding. And you're trying to ask the rest of the Democratic millions in the Democratic Party to coward you, to get you to slide from being off that stage. Real smart Democratic primary voters realize that their primary voters are not enough to win a general election. And in order for you to win a general election, you got to win the primaries. So why are you not going out there stating your claim? For a couple of reasons, and I shouldn't even be saying this because it's horrible. I won't even do it. You need to try to find a way to get new voters to register for the Democratic Party to vote for you. And a lot of those people are a lot of them are Democrats that left the party. And they haven't came back. 13 million in 2016. You got to find some way to go and entice those people to get them back. And a lot of those people are independents that watch Fox News because they can't trust CNN. So it's dumb for you to say, let's resist, let's protest. Come on, Democratic voters. Well, you lost 13 million. How you think you're going to get them back if you're not going to go to the place where they are? We need all Democratic voters to tune into an outlet that profits. And we need them to, I want to ask y'all not to tune into an outlet that profit off racism and hate in order to see our candidates, especially when Fox will make even more money at it. Stop using that as an excuse. Because Bernie Sanders will go anytime. Tulsi Gabbard has no problem with going. Why? Because they know in order to really, really win an election, two things got to happen. Number one, since the Democratic Party is dumb to close their primaries, not allowing independents to come in unless they sign up to be a Democrat, you're shooting yourself in the foot with just that. We don't want you participating in our elections unless you sign up as a Democrat. Well, so I got to join your gang to vote for somebody, vote for one of your gang leaders. You asking a whole lot. So number one. Number two, again, you got to make your pitch to a huge demographic that is not already saying that they're not going to vote for you because you don't support true reparations, not just reparations for Indians. I can see Aborigines, people who look like black people who got caught up in the slave trade. There's a segment of people who did go through that, Aborigines. But ADOS ain't got nothing to do with Indians. I mean, with Native Americans. So you got to try to fight to keep them. Yet most of the Democrats that left in 2016 a lot of them are independents or non-voters, and you got to find some way to reach them. And they ain't watching that show on MSNBC, and they're watching Fox News. So why would you be dumb enough not to go there? Why you want to use this as an excuse? Well, I'm afraid they're going to profit. Which one is more important, them making money or you getting your message out to get a vote? I want y'all to support me in rejecting them. That's what she's saying. I'm running a campaign to reach all Americans. No, you're not. How are you going to run a campaign to reach all Americans when you won't go where all Americans are? All Americans don't watch CNBC or MSNBC, Fox, CNN, all of them don't. But if Fox is the most watched news, and I don't like Fox, and I'm not a supporter of Fox, every now and then Tucker Carlson will say something worthy or something, but I don't even trust him. But the point is, you are on the platform speaking on that platform. Now, sure, they're going to try to make you feel shame, especially when they talk about this, you being a Native American issue. But there's a whole lot of things they're going to try to call you out on. You just got to need to be prepared for that. I'm running a campaign to reach all America. You're lying. Stop. Because all Americans are not where you're trying to reach. I take questions from the press and voters everywhere I go. You haven't been everywhere. And you just say you're not. I already held town halls in 17 states and Puerto Rico. What did they do? Including West Virginia, Ohio, Georgia, Utah, Tennessee, Texas, Colorado, Mississippi, and Alabama. I don't give a crap. That's not saying nothing. Stick your chest in. Or take the C, I'll put a BR. Stick that in. You didn't do nothing. That is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to Georgia, Utah. Okay, have you been to Arkansas? Have you been to Kansas? Have you been, you say you've been to Texas. What part of Texas? Did you go to Texas where the majority of the population black or Hispanic, or did you go out there into farmland? I've done 57 media avails and 131 interviews, taken over 1,100 questions from the press. Since, first of all, where is she getting these numbers from? And why is that a badge of I'm important and I did something and I don't need to do any more? Right now, you sound like a cocky, arrogant snob. I've done 57 media avails, 131 interviews, taken on 1,100 questions from the press just since January. Fox News is welcome to come to my events, just like any other outlet. But a Fox News town hall adds money to the. Stop using that for excuse. You're not trying to get Fox voters. You're not trying to get Fox viewers by that Fox asking you a couple questions at an MSNBC or any other town hall. You are not winning an election unless you get independents and possibly some Republicans. You need every vote you can get because right now you suck. I mean, you're in what most people call the top 5 for the extreme left. But you going and bragging on, oh, I've been here, I've been there, I've been here, I've been everywhere. I talked to this person, I talked to that person, but I'm not going to talk to. Get out of here. So you're going to tout your victories, your medals. My medals is 57 media appearances, 131 interviews, taking on 1,001. Only a cocky, arrogant person write this stuff down. I've done this. I would not ever attend Fox News. I've been to 17 states. I've done 70 town halls. I've been to 70 states in Puerto Rico, including West Virginia, Ohio, Georgia, Utah, Tennessee, Texas, Colorado, Mississippi, and Alabama. I've done 57 media avails and 131 interviews, taking over 1,100 questions from press just since January. So I'm special, and I'm a doggone, I will go on a disastrous news outlet like Fox. So in other words, you don't want to win. And if you ain't in this to win, what you here for? Drop out. I won't do a town hall with Fox News because I won't invite millions. I won't invite millions of Democratic primary voters to tune in. You won't go to Fox. I'm not going to do it, but Bernie can do it. So you're trying to make yourself seem like your protesting is better than Bernie Sanders having the guts to go on Fox News and still keep the same talking points that he had with the Democrats, the same talking points he's had since the 80s and the 90s. Same talking points now. Same policies. That's one thing I can say about Bernie Sanders. His platform is the same. His biggest blunder to me, biggest mistakes in his career to me, is supporting the crime bill and discount reparations. Anything else, I ain't got no problem with Bernie Sanders on. The nerves of you, cocky, arrogant son of a gun. I won't do a town hall with Fox News. But Fox News got the people that you need to reach. And these people are looking to vote for somebody. And not all of them on the Trump train, and they're looking for somebody else to vote. Now, I shouldn't even be saying nothing because you're not on my radar anyway. You're not even on my possibility. And I have my various reasons why, and I'll discuss that in a moment. But this makes it even more solid that I don't want to have nothing to do with you because you're opportunists. You sound like Hillary Clinton stating your record but done nothing. Now, you did some great things in consumer protection and you got some great bills, but you got to get on the platform and tell other people besides Democrats. They know your record, but that's not going to be enough for you to win anything. You're not going to win a caucus. You're not going to win any state with that mess. And you got to understand a lot of these caucuses, and there are some primaries that are open. And if you expect independents and Republicans to diss Trump and come vote for you, then you need to go to their area and speak to them. It's not the other way around. I won't do a town hall with Fox News because I won't invite millions of Democrats primary voters to tune in, inflating their ratings and help sell ads for them. No, 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 no. Now, we all know the real reason why Elizabeth Warren won't go on Fox News. First of all, let's talk about some of the things she did to mess up her race and mess up, pretty much scarred the progressive movement. And I don't like the word movement because movement means they'll be here today and gone tomorrow. Like back in religious time, they had the faith movement. Then you had the healing movement. Then you had this movement. You had that movement. 1 minute a day it was gone. But the principles never left. Faith come by hearing and hearing by the word of God. You get faith. You get more belief when you hear something over and over again. Repetition is the mother of learning. She did more damage than anybody. Number one, when her so-called native indigenous blood needed her most in DAPL at the Dakota Access Pipeline, she was not there. She was silent. When it came to her endorsing Bernie Sanders to help her win her state of Michigan when it was Massachusetts, when it was super, super close. She didn't do it. She didn't go out there and campaign with him, nothing like that. And I get it. No, she wasn't going to do it because, like I said, she's an opportunist. She's a white version of, and I know this sounds bad, but she's the white version of Simone Sanders and what's her name? Omarosa. She's the white political Omarosa. She don't want to make her move until it profits her. That whole thing with Omarosa spilling the beans about Trump in her book is because it profited her. Donna Brazile in her book, Profit. She's an opportunist. If it's not going to boost her career, she's not going to do it. She's not going to say, hell with my career. I got to do the right thing. She's not going to do that. She won't even do that with her own election. In the primaries, I'm not going to take any PAC or corporate PAC money. But hey, when I'm letting you know ahead of time, and I'm glad you are, Elizabeth Warren, if I win, and you're not going to win, so forget about it, I'm not voting for you. All hands off. I'm going to take whatever money I can get. So pretty much you're going to sell yourself out financially to make sure you have an arsenal to try to win. Yeah, you think you're going to get all this money from these big money donors and not expect nothing in return. And see, this is why the left media is going to be lenient toward Liz Warren. And this is why she will not go to right media, and because they're going to come down hard. And she ain't got the guts to clap back like Bernie Sanders do. I got to give it to Bernie Sanders. That's that. It's just like me being a black man from Brooklyn. That's that Jewish man from Brooklyn. They ain't gonna just lay over and let you say anything to them in that type of environment. Now, don't get me wrong. Bernie Sanders have plenty of laying down and kissing other people behind, but one thing he ain't gonna lay down and do is let Fox News do that to him. So, Warren, what's the difference between you? Tulsi Gabbard the same way. I can go on Fox News. You ain't just gonna say anything to me because I'm always clap back at you. You know why? Like them or not, when it comes to them and people trying to pop shots at them, especially in their face, depending on the situation, they'll clap back. Some clap back, some situation, they can't clap back. They ain't got nothing to do but shut up and walk away. But at least they was in the bullpen. At least they was in the lion's den. At least they were in the fighting cage. Elizabeth Warren, you're saying you're not going to go to a fire cage. Now I'm not done with Elizabeth Warren. She's scared of Fox News. She can't handle hard questions. She can't handle tough questions. She'll go on a tangent. She can't answer it directly. She can't say, wait a minute. Like Bernie Sanders, when they're asking about the crime bill, the lady say, look, you signed the crime bill. Wait. If you go to me on YouTube, you'll see me fighting saying the reason why I don't like this bill. But you can say all you want, Bernie. You still signed it. So saying is not enough. The point is your signature went on it despite the situation. We know it had a bunch of pork in it, but you should have went before and said, look, I don't like this. I'm not going to sign this. I'm sorry if you feel like the pork in here was a trap and I'm not falling for the trap out that particular pork in this bill. I'm going to handle it on my own. But I'm not going to sign this because these fools going to try to trap me if that was a trap. But the point is you signed on this. So Elizabeth Warren, you're not going to weasel your way out of this, girl, young lady. You're opportunist and you're a coward. You only get the guts if it's going to benefit you. But if it's not going to benefit you, you're not even going to participate. You're afraid to go to DAP because you think that freezing water was going to freeze your fingers off, right? Elizabeth Warren. Tulsi Gabbard went to DAPL. Tulsi Gabbard put out a bill saying, hey, y'all worried about the elections being heist again. Let's go back to paper ballot. She introduced a bill to do that, and people, you haven't heard on it. Where is Warren, Bernie Sanders, and all this to help her push this? especially Bernie Sanders, who got cheated out of election anyway. Let me get off that. So she's not going to go because she's scared of Fox News. She's scared Fox is going to brutalize her. She don't know how to be gutsy and clap back or nothing like that. She ain't got it in her. So I'll just not go, but I can't make it seem like I'm a wimp and a punk. But see, I can see through that, Warren. You're the new wimpy. So what she's going to do is she's going to hide. She's going to disguise this. I guess this is where the dumb advisors told her to do. Instead of you looking like a coward, save face for yourself, and rally around everybody and say, we're going to boycott Fox News if it can ever come to me being on there. That lacks guts. Then you going to bring me into your false, stupid reason for you not going? If I was a Democrat, I'm like, don't you put that on me for you not going. Get your butt in that ring and fight. Don't be using me to help you fight against somebody. Get out of here. Fight your own fight. How many hosts going to be on that show anyway? 2 and a bunch of people with questions. Go out there and get you a team of people like the attorneys do before you go to trial and hit me with the hard questions so I can know how to handle it when game time comes up. Now, let me go to another story. Now, Elizabeth Warren, the opportunist that she is, I call her late Liz because she always late to the game. I call her opportunist Liz. I call her slimy lizard Liz. I call her Lizard Beth Warren for a reason because she's sneaky and slimy like a lizard. Lizard, they see you, and if they see any kind of danger, they go away real quick. Go try to kill a salamander. Them suckers are fast. They'll disappear real quick. You don't know where they went. And that's how Elizabeth Warren is. Elizabeth Warren, Lizard Beth Warren, she slimes around like a doggone salamander. When the heat is on, she slide her way out of the picture. Now, knowing that she is no competition for Bernie Sanders, and knowing that she's not, and she probably characterized and really, really got a real reason to run, she is not a Tulsi Gabbard. She's just not. She's not Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard will challenge anybody that come in her face. Anybody. It don't matter. Now, do she win all of them? Most of them she do. And she ain't afraid to take on Fox News. And she's open. She's believing diplomacy. She's not trying to go to war quick, and they don't like that. That's why the establishment is going to go after her harder than Bernie Sanders in some cases. She'll get in the face of the military complex, you name it, she'll get in their face, and she'll go to Fox, any other place, RT News, whatever, go on to Jimmy Dore, which Bernie Sanders too much of a punk to do. And she don't care. That's why she get a lot of brownie points with me. Not saying I don't vote for her. I made my decision to vote. I'm not at that point as my boy Nico House where I'm solid on who I'm voting for yet, but I'm getting there. See, he's actively campaigning. I'm waiting a little bit. That's my man Priority. I say he got a good choice. To me, she's lacking a couple things. For me to be on the bandwagon 100%, I don't want somebody to support a resolution. HR is a House resolution. I don't need a support for a resolution. I don't need support for a bill. I would like for a candidate to go on record and say, if I become president, one of my first missions is to make sure reparations go to blacks, American descendants of slaves, in the form of a check. Because we've been getting checks off of them all these years. It's time for us to give them a check. And when I get nominated, or if I get elected, I'm going to make sure I go right into this thing, planning out a way to get these checks to them. And yeah, we got the money. And how we going to pay for it? I'm going to cut down a couple things to pay for it. That's what I'm looking for. Tulsi Gabbard can give me that. She got my vote. But that's just me. Now, like I said, Elizabeth Warren is afraid of Tulsi too. Because if Tulsi keep coming up, the moral character and the determination and the class and the guts that she have all contained into one is impressive to me. And that gives a up for me. I got thumbs up. You get a lot of thumbs up for me before I vote. So she gets a thumb up for me for that. So knowing that she's starting to slide in the polls, knowing that she's starting to turn off her own base, I'm talking about Elizabeth Warren. She's done that a long time ago, but some of the things she's doing right now is making it even worse. Knowing that she's turning down her own base, she desperately began to seek. AOC names 2 candidates she could endorse in 2020. All right, so Representative Alexander Cortez named 2 senators who could get her endorsement in 2020. And let's see who it is. Elizabeth Warren is looking for early endorsement, hoping the early endorsement gets her a boost. Now, Tulsi Gabbard got a big endorsement this couple weeks, I think last week. And I'm telling people cannot discount this endorsement. Joe Rogan is one of the biggest podcasts, if not the biggest podcast on YouTube and in the podcast world. And a lot of important people go on Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan not only had Tulsi Gabbard come up there twice, but they had a healthy conversation on different subjects. Joe Rogan said before Tulsi came on the broadcast that he's going to endorse her. Now, right now, to me, it's early to endorse anybody because you never know what's going to happen through the process. And then you have to come back and bite your tongue. But if you feel this is the person that, and I'm done, and so with, you have the option. It's like me. Me personally, I'm looking for a black agenda, and I'm looking for somebody I'm actually looking for somebody that will vocally say one of my first orders, if I have to make it an executive order, if I can make it an executive order, is to make reparation checks to people who can, ADOS, who can prove that they're descendants of American slaves. Okay. Contrary to people believe, everybody, the government has a record of who's ADOS through slave papers and property papers and everything like that. But believe me, you got to go out there and prove it. You don't expect the government to do anything in proving that you're anything. You got to step up to the plate to do it. And they're not going to hand out checks until they do that. And so let me get back on this. So there's certain things that I expect out of a candidate. I don't follow nobody codes. I don't follow nobody agenda, because when I die, they're not going to be with me. Okay, I have to make my own personal decision. Do I think my personal decisions can make a group decision better? Yes. But do I let a group decision determine my personal decision? No. That's why nobody tells me how to do this show. I will lift up a Republican if he do right. I'll lift up a Democratic if he do right. I'll lift up a non-party person if they do right. I will report the faulty news when it comes to a black cop doing a white kid wrong, or a white cop doing a black kid wrong. It doesn't matter to me. I'm definitely balanced. I'm not one-sided. So don't expect me to be on what some people call stay on code and all that. Ain't no code with me. Okay? There's no agenda that I'm promoting. I'm not promoting an agenda. I'm promoting what's right. There's no do it my way with this channel. This is my channel. I do it my way. Nobody tells me how to run this channel. Like I said, not even YouTube. And that's why I'm sending some of my stuff to another platform. Now, people ain't going to tell me not to vote for Democrat. Nobody going to tell me not to vote for Republican. Nobody not going to tell me not to vote for anybody. I vote for who I think is best to run for office. And believe me, that's why I'm going to start putting before the show The views and opinions is Robert Brown's alone. It does not represent any organization or structure. These are my views only. Okay? And I listen to a lot of people, and I'm impressed with a lot of people on certain subjects that I deeply care about. Doesn't mean I'm agree with them. Doesn't mean I'm going to follow their lead. And just because I don't agree with you, don't make me your enemy. Now, if I on purpose do things to hurt you, on purpose, you may feel that I'm an enemy, but oftentimes you might not be right. Maybe I'm helping than hurting. In this case, Elizabeth Warren, she's sinking. She's sinking as the top 3 dogs. Right now, she's 3. Because contrary to the polling that they're showing before you, Biden ain't all that. The only polling that they're showing are skewed polls where they poll a few people in a certain amount of in a certain area, probably in the mountains of New York, white older women or black older women, and giving you that result to make it seem like it is a representation of all the United States, and it's not. Bernie Sanders likewise. To me, I think the top 5 is Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Tulsi Gabbard, Elizabeth Warren, and Andrew Yang. Much as I like Marianne Wilson, she's nowhere near that. She's nowhere near that. Until she can unfold her plan and get a petition where she can get until she can get defy the polls by getting a petition saying I got 10 million American descendants of slaves saying they're going to vote for me for president. I got it on documentation. It's just like a reverse form of superdelegates. Right now, she's not doing that well. Yet she's the only one that preaches reparation with a check. And just because we're supporting her doesn't have it on paper that she's a threat. She needs to become a threat. That's why she needs to get that on paper. But back to these people. So Elizabeth Warren is sinking in the polls. I mean, she's sinking in her status, and she's doing it to herself. She's the one punching holes in that boat with her opportunist ways. And here's one now. This newscaster went on and asked Alexandria Ocasio, since she's supposed to be the hottest thing in Congress. She's slipping in popularity with me. She's starting to get on my bad side. I give it a few more years. She'll be another seasoned politician who claimed to be more left than Bernie Sanders, who ran under the Democratic Socialist platform. But I got a feeling she's going to be kissing corporate butt in the next few years. And it seemed like she's becoming a little bit more like Liz with opportunity. So they asked her, who will she vote for? And it's too early to be asking that, especially from a politician. I understand endorsement, but it's too early to be asking for endorsement. I know you're trying to get that endorsement for Joe Biden. And that's what this is all about, trying to get an endorsement on Joe Biden so it can make it seem like Joe Biden got the juice and Joe Biden ain't got no juice. But let's listen to this.
Endorse in the presidential race, and specifically whether or not you're going to endorse Warren. I mean, what's your thought process on that right now?
Well, for me, what is always so important is to make sure that, for me personally, what I would like to see in a presidential candidate is one that has a coherent worldview and logic from which all these policy proposals are coming forward. I think Senator Sanders has that. I also think Senator Warren has that. And I also want to see us centering working people in the United States to stem income inequality, tackle climate change, and people who are bold of really big ideas that are going to make people's lives better.
So do you think you will endorse during the Democratic primary? Is that something you're leaving that option open?
I'm entertaining, but it's not going to be for a while. So.
Would you consider Vice President Biden too?
Pardon?
Would you consider Vice President Biden?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, now it's getting a little nuts, but
yeah. All right, thank you, Congresswoman.
All right, so 2 things in that video. She's letting you know she pretty much going to stick with a progressive, which is, I guess, the right thing to do for her. Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. Mainly because of the progressive platform, nothing else. She didn't even mention Tulsi. Right now, I got a feeling she's a little... She's scared Tulsi might steal her fire from her landmark achievement that's supposed to edge her in history as a politician. That's the Green New Deal, which is something she took from the Green Party and Jill Stein. Now, Jill Stein, being the gracious person she is, she's like, well, if she can get it done on a bigger scale, I'm with her. Because even though this is something that I've been proposing for a long time, if she can take it to the next level, I'm with her. And I've done a video saying that Ocasio need to give her some support or bring her in to help her work on this new deal. Well, Tulsi Gabbard got her policy for tackling the environment, and it's more robust than AOC. It is a real bill. It's not a resolution, and it will aid and assist the so-called Ocasio Green New Deal, which is really the Jill Stein Green New Deal. Okay. So she didn't mention Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know why. And second, this dude gonna ask her, is she gonna endorse Joe Biden? You come on my joint talking about, am I gonna endorse Joe Biden? She said, well, I need somebody that's going to tackle this, tackle that, tackle that, tackle that. If she told you that she's supporting a person that's going to do all these things, why are you asking about Joe Biden, somebody who ain't going to do anything? Trying to get that Joe Biden vote. And why are you going to continue to push that when she said, look, we ain't even there yet? Now, what's going to happen is these politicians these news reporters are going to try to get on record a progressive supporting Biden over Bernie Sanders or over Elizabeth Warren. Now, if they interview Warren, she'll probably say, I probably will, or whoever it is, I'm going to endorse the nominee. I ain't that way. All right, so Elizabeth Warren heard her say that in that interview, and she probably said, oh, she mentioned my name. AOC mentioned my name. The hottest girl on the ticket in D.C. mentioned my name. I got to get with her because I can use her endorsement. All right, so the same newspaper, Elizabeth Warren praises Forged in Fire. AOC millions are taking cues from her. Senator Elizabeth Warren, in 2020 candidate for presidency, offered fawning praise of fellow liberal firebrand Representative Ocasio-Cortez in the profile that appeared in Times 2019, less than 100 influential people. Warren said Ocasio was forged in fire and has millions who taking cues from her. This is basically Warren kissing the buttocks of Cortez. Let me read that again. Sounds just like a movie. Now, this is Warren quote. Warren kisses the butt of Cortez better than anybody. Ocasio-Cortez was formed in fire. Let me say it again. Ocasio-Cortez was forged in fire as millions who have taken cues from her, perhaps a nod to the New York Democrats' large social media presence that extend far beyond her district. Her commitment to putting power in the hands of the people is forged in fire. Coming from a family in crisis and graduating from school with mountains of debt, she fought back against the rigged system. A year ago, she was taking orders across the bar. Today, millions are taking cues from her. She reminds all of us that even while greed and corruption slow our progress, even while armies of lobbyists swarm Washington, D.C., in our democracy, true power still rests with the people. Oh, God. Ocasio-Cortez thanked Warren for the kind words on Twitter. Couldn't be more honored. This is Ocasio saying. Couldn't be more honored and humbled to read these words from a woman I admired some deeply. She said, thank you, Senator Warren, for your tireless fight for working families. Ocasio-Cortez, 29, and Warren, 69, 40-year difference, have found common ground in calling for significant higher taxes on wealthy Americans and supporting the ideas behind the Green New Deal, which comes from the Green Party. However, in January, Warren distinguished herself from Ocasio-Cortez, stating she is not a socialist and that she favors capitalism with serious rules. Well, who said Ocasio-Cortez is a socialist? She ran on a Democratic Socialist banner. She was backed by Our Revolution and Justice Democrat. But was she believed in capitalism. A true socialist don't want capitalism nowhere near them. A hardcore socialist. So believe me, stop this. Ocasio-Cortez is not a socialist. Now I'm done. Bottom line is this. Bernie Sanders know he don't need no endorsement from Ocasio-Cortez. If Ocasio-Cortez did not endorse Bernie Sanders, then that would make me believe that the Democratic establishment done got her hand up her. She has become, or she will become, Elmo. And you know what happened to Elmo original? The guy who puppeteered Elmo? He did things he wasn't supposed to do and left Elmo stranded, and they had to get another Elmo. She's going to end up becoming a puppet of the Democratic establishment. And sure, Ocasio-Cortez got some quick popularity. I mean, she's the baddest thing in D.C. right now. And so is Bernie Sanders, regardless of my disagreements with him. These two got a lot of pull. They actually got so much pull that they can really, really weaken the Democratic Party if they decide to make ultimatums, which they don't have the guts to do. And then when asked, who would you support? And they asked it too early. She said it's going to, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, or my closest thing to what I'm going to support. You're going to support Biden? I would have laughed in that dude's face. I was like, huh? Support Biden? No, I don't support people who hurt my people. And that's why I pulled a whole lot away from Bernie Sanders, because after looking at the bills, he could have said no, and he refused not to. And so when I can't argue with people that say Bernie is a bigot. He may not use racist words. He may not be out there calling people the N-word, but I look at your vote on policy. You can make bigoted voting decisions, and his support for the crime bill was a bigoted voting decision. Does that mean he don't have great policies? I'm not going to say he don't. He got some incredible policies. Incredible policies that can help out this generation and the next generation, the generation at that. So for him not to get Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez endorsement when she worked on the Bernie Sanders campaign here in the Bronx, I worked in Harlem. When she was called to run for office by just the Democratic Armed Revolution and the Democratic Socialist Party, when Bernie Sanders, she ran on Bernie Sanders' platform. And when she was endorsed by Bernie Sanders, why would she be dumb enough to endorse Elizabeth Warren? And why would Elizabeth Warren get all happy and excited and tout these great words of exaltation to Ocasio-Cortez, hoping that she's going to get the endorsement over Bernie? If Ocasio support Warren over Bernie, that means she has officially become the puppet of the Democratic establishment. Now, Bernie Sanders is still a puppet to a certain extent to the Democratic establishment, because he said with his own mouth, it doesn't matter who it is, I'm going to support the Democratic primary, whoever wins the primary, and because our number one goal is to defeat Donald Trump, the most disastrous president in our modern time. Can't do Bernie as well as Barack Obama. For her to do that means she's becoming a puppet of the establishment. Now back on Warren. Warren, there's no excuse for you not to show up at a town hall. You need every vote you can get. Stop using Fox being a bigoted organization as an excuse, and them using you to make money is an excuse to get advertising dollars. Number one, not that people tune in when you're doing a town hall, so don't get too excited about yourself. Number two, you got to go out and reach those voters, because a lot of those voters that you lost in 2016, thanks to Hillary Clinton and your team rigging the election, a lot of them watch Fox News. And if you're trying to win them back, you got to go to them. They don't go to you. Stop trying to ask the network to come to you, and you go to the network to get to the people. That's what it's all about. Forget the network. Your job is to use the networks to get to the people. And you cannot get to the people by having the network come to you. It ain't going to happen. So stop being a punk. Stop being a lizard, slimy lizard, Beth Warren. Stop being slimy, trying to slime your way out of this. And step up to the plate and do what you're supposed to do. If not, just throw in the towel and quit. Now, I want to see you on the debate stage, because I want to hear more progressive views dominating the stage. That's the only thing I want you to stay in this race for. The only thing. And I want to see y'all go hubba when they ask you questions about reparations. Just to see, have you involved? Have your thinking changed? Because as of right now, I haven't. That's why none of you gets Bob TV vote. But if you don't vote, Trump gonna win. No. If you don't come up with some policy to help my community, Trump winning will be your fault. The reason I didn't vote for you, because you didn't give me a reason to vote for you. And that's what I told somebody in the comment section today on another video. Obama cannot blame nobody but himself, the DNC, and Hillary Clinton for their funky loss, because they did all that campaigning and all they talked about was Trump instead of talking about what they're going to do for the American people. And then and yelled and screamed, it'll be an insult if you don't vote for Hillary Clinton. No, it's an insult for you to tell me to vote for that crook. It's an insult. Anyway, I'm done. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll holler at you later. Peace. Hey, thank you for watching that episode of the Rob Report. Before you go now, I need you to do two things for me. First thing, I want you to like the video if you liked it. Second thing, I want you to share it all across social media. And if you have not subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. Stop and do it. As Jimmy Dore says, sometimes you think you're subscribed, or you go check and find out you're not subscribed. So make sure you check that you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when I put a new content out. I'm not a fan of Super Chat, so if you plan on giving to the efforts of Bob TV, make sure you do that through Bob TV NYC at paypal.me. Anybody who want to have free access to my Patreon channel, I'm trying to save you money on your cable bill. I ran into a program that I think everybody need, everybody can afford, and everybody should have, and that link is down there below. 5,000 plus channel, best sports package, and the best premium TV, and even international channels, and you can access this all over the world. Go ahead and check that out, get your free trial, and if you decide to support, become members of those two services, we'll go ahead and give you full access to the Patreon channel, and there's no cost to it. So my name is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Thank you for watching. I'll holler at you later. Peace.